Hi, everybody. My name is Stephanie Renee Mack, Renee with an A, and I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about self talk aloud. I did record a video earlier live on YouTube, and it did not come out right with the sound and everything. So I wanted to go over it again so that you guys can hear the sound and really hear what I had to say. Because I listened to it and I couldn't hear a word I was saying. What I wanted to say is I have a website page that I'm working on, and on that web page, I'm talking about self talk, and it's called HHMI Self Talk. And you can go to that website and you can see the details of what I'm talking about when I mention HHMI Self Talk. In introducing myself, I have a background, and with my self talk, when I talk out aloud, my background comes out. I was raised in Mississippi, so my southern accent comes out from being raised in Mississippi in the Delta area. So I'll hear that sometimes when I have my self talk. And when I do my self talk, I go in a private area. Sometimes I find myself doing it in public and I have to catch myself. And then the other dialect that'll come out is I was raised for about 5 years from the ages of 6 to 11 years old on the west side of Chicago. So sometimes that dialect will come out and I'll hear it and I'll be like, oh, wow, Bambalance. And so, and then, of course, in my junior high and high school years, I was raised in the urban suburban area of Oak Park, Illinois. And so sometimes that'll come out with my self talk. And so I have all these three dialogues that come out. And of course, people who are not from this country say that we have an accent, and we in this country say that other people have an accent. And so those dialects will come out in our self talk. So the first thing in doing your self talk is listen to your voice, hear your voice and what you sound like. You should listen to that. And again, if you go on my webpage, you'll see what I mean about that and having your self talk, your HHMI self talk. And then the other thing I look at is the Holy Bible Speak, because that's the angle I come from in my holistic. The HHMI acronym is Holistic Healthcare Management Inc. And this is a part of the healthcare that is taken into consideration. In 2001, I went through some things. And in 2001, I ended up having a nervous breakdown because of some of the things I went through. And unfortunately, in this country, you cannot have a nervous breakdown, regardless of what the reason is, or else they'll tag you with the label. And they tagged me with the label of bipolar disorder because I had a nervous breakdown. I disputed that because I didn't have bipolar disorder. I simply had a nervous breakdown. I had a mental failure, a mental health failure, a mental health crisis. However, I didn't have an illness to be labeled. And so in my self-talk, I had to combat that because there was a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of miscommunication, and a lot of just misdirection. And because of all of that, I had to continue to do my self-talk. And in doing my self-talk and that misunderstanding, I had to make sure that I did some things. And self-talk helped me as a person quite a bit. And there was a movie by the name of War Room. I don't know if any of you have heard of the movie or if any of you have gone to the movie. However, in this movie, the female in the movie, there's an older female and there's a younger female. The older female instructs the younger female on how to do self-talk. And it's called prayer. That's really what it's called. It's called prayer. And it's learning how to pray to God. And it's learning how to pray within yourself, And so you say it out loud because you want to hear your voice. You want to know what you sound like. You want to know what you say to yourself. You want to know the influence of what other people say to you that causes you to think and act in whatever way it causes you to think and act. And that's the purpose of doing self-talk aloud. In the movie War Room, That's what this young lady did. That's what the older woman instructed the young woman to do. And this is something that I learned to do when I was going through my MBA program at Benedictine University when I first developed this business, Holistic Healthcare Management Inc. And I also incorporated it from a minister of mine by the name of Robert Matthew Woods. He's no longer with us now. He's passed on. He passed on when he was about in his 80s. And when I would have private conversations with him, he would tell me exactly what I'm sharing with you guys. Stephanie, have you ever sat down and just really talked aloud? And so I'm sharing that with you guys. So it's nothing new. It's not a new concept. And it's called devotion. That's what it's called. And a lot of people are familiar with devotions. And that's what it's called, devotions. It's having a devotion with yourself, having a devotion with God. And then when you incorporate other people into it, it's having a devotion with other people. It's called devotions. I like to call it my devotions. I like to call it HHMI, my devotions. And I have a web page that deals just with that. It's an element of HHMI. And I hope you guys enjoy it. So when you get the opportunity, check it out. It's called HTTPS colon / Renee Mac .wix site. I think it's wixsite.com / HHMI my devotions. And you can check it out when you get the opportunity. You guys have a wonderful New Year's Eve, because I know I will. I absolutely will. Because I've been lying like a zombie for quite a while now, and I'm finally alive and I've been resuscitated, but I couldn't do it alone. It took other people to help me. I couldn't do it alone, people. It took prayer, it took my devotion, and it absolutely took self-talk aloud and not silently just in my head. You guys have a wonderful New Year's Eve. God bless. Bye, people. Love you.